You need armor and you need a med kit. I don't think anyone with any myriad of common sense will argue with me on that. We can only buy this once. We can buy a separate plate carrier, and now we can actually interchange our fully decked out chest rig. That these mags never leave this chest rig. They are always topped off and ready to go. Gear and equipment. It's a topic that everyone loves to talk about and no one can get enough of. And for good reason. After all, gear is very, very fun. But no one's talking about what you actually need. Now, I understand that a lot of this can be a hobby, and trust me, I am guilty of that. But I really wanted to go over what we actually need. After all, as prepared civilians or even as professional soldiers, what we see on TV and what we see other people use doesn't necessarily translate to what might be best for us. Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for watching. As you can see, we are in a brand new location. I just moved into a brand new place, and when I was moving all my stuff, all my tubs of equipment, something kind of hit me, and that's, wow, I have a lot of this stuff. So that got me thinking, what do you actually need? Everyone talks about gear, everyone talks about the newest thing, but the truth is, we can get the job done with a very small amount of equipment. Now, if you're like me and you love gear as a hobby, that's fine, that's great. You probably collected a lot over time. But this video is going to be for those that maybe are looking to slim down our equipment. Money's tight right now, budgets are tight right now. So if you're getting into this hobby, if you've identified a reason why you need this equipment, and we're going to go over that today because this video is about needs, then this video is going to be for you, because we're going to be discussing the things that you actually need. There are going to be no wants in this video. We're going to be going over the equipment, but in an industry that is full of people ultimately trying to convince you that their gear is the best. How do you choose it, and what do you look for, and what do you actually need? Now, you're all going to hear me say the word need a lot in this video. So if you have anyone that you want to introduce to this hobby, or you wonder why people buy and collect this equipment, this video is going to be fantastic, because the first thing we're going to get out of the way is going to be, what is a need, and why do you as a citizen not only need this equipment, but are required to have it? So what is the definition of a need? Well, a definition of a need is something that you require or is essential and you cannot go without. So how does this equipment equate to being essential? Well, I would say that your life is pretty important. Pretty essential thing to have is your life, right? In fact, the US Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, it specifically says that this country is made for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life being the first part of that. Now, how do we preserve our life? Well, this is where things such as body armor and firearms come into that. Your right to self-defense is not your right to take someone. It's not even your right to stop someone from committing something that society sees as a crime. It ultimately comes down to your right to defend what is most precious and important in this world, which is life. So the second part of the definition of a need is an obligation or necessity. Now, I would say that it is your obligation as good moral men and women to defend what you love, those you love, and uphold the values in which you hold true. So with that, we've identified the need, the necessity, and honestly, it's your obligation. So if you're not doing these things, I would seriously reevaluate where you morally stand, what you stand for. After all, ideas, unless they are backed up with the ability to defend them, mean absolutely nothing. Which is why in the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, it specifically says that the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, because the founders understood that ideas are nothing unless they cannot be defended by those whom they are for and are meant to protect. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, why do I need this stuff? We have police, we have law enforcement, but the truth is response times are low with hackings going on all around the country, and on a monthly basis at this point, 911 and emergency systems are failing and going down. Guys, you are your first responder. If you're a man of the household, you owe a duty to protect those around you. And if you're a young man or woman, it is your right and duty to protect your life and those that you care about. Living in the modern world, we have no longer sticks and stones, but we have firearms, knives, weapons of all sorts. So this equipment comes into that. So with that, let's get started. So now that we've identified the need for this equipment, the obligation for you to not only have it, but know how to use it and be competent in using it, let's talk about what the actual mission is. Now, I spoke a lot about militaries and law enforcement using this equipment, and that is very true. But where that differs for a civilian or someone who's concerned about defending those that they love or being part of a community is the military and police force are oftentimes offensive, meaning that they actively go out and go to enforce the law, or they are actively engaging in a threat. We as civilians do not do that. I want to make it very clear that I am not saying that any of you should go out there and use this equipment in an offensive manner. As a civilian, this is 100% defensive. I'm a big believer in if you are, shooting a lot of ammunition, engaging targets beyond 100 meters as a civilian, you're the problem. Let's be honest here. So with that in mind, that's the idea of this for a civilian, is it is defensive in nature, not offensive. And that, of course, is going to dictate directly to the type of equipment that we need as a civilian. Now, that will fall into two categories, and these are both defensive in nature. The first is going to be home defense, and the second is area defense. Home defense is self-explanatory. That is defending your home. The second one is area defense, and this is if you have to leave the home in a natural disaster, or you're outside of the home, or something has happened where you are away from a stable area and you actually have to control or operate a larger area. What equipment and gear do you, again, need to accomplish that mission as a civilian? Now, I've had many friends come to me wanting to get into this hobby and wanting to get this equipment that, again, is absolutely necessary. And the truth is that they come to me with a ton of enthusiasm and ready to swipe their credit cards. But guys, take your time. There's a lot of equipment out there. Use this video as a guideline, not an actual rule. This is not a buying list. Use it as a guideline. Use your common sense. Do what you can financially afford. Don't go into debt. Again, it is your obligation to have this equipment, be trained in it, but don't let it affect any other parts of your life. As well as with that, I've also found that a lot of influencers on the internet are trying to ultimately sell you a product. Again, this video is a guideline, so don't feel that this thing that came out, this newest little bit of gear that has this one little modification that your previous equipment didn't have, don't think that makes your equipment obsolete. It does not. So once you have it, once you need this stuff, again, and those are wants, but we're talking about needs today. So let's talk, starting off with home defense and what you actually need to accomplish that goal. And the things, again, that you need are going to be very, very basic. So the first thing is going to obviously be ultimately a firearm, but it doesn't just stop there, because whenever somebody comes to me looking for my recommendation on a firearm, I ask them two follow-up questions. And that is, first of all, what do you intend to do with it? And have you considered the supporting equipment? Because the truth is, if you're putting rounds downrange, you need two things. You need to expect to be taking rounds, which means armor, and you need to be able to plug any holes that you might get, which means a medical kit. So what do you need for home defense? A rifle or pistol with a light, because oftentimes these things happen in the dark. Magazines, ammunition, some sort of body armor, and a serious medical kit. So what exactly does that look like? Here is an example of my more overt piece of equipment, and this is a HRT plate carrier. I like it. It's very, very comfortable, great circulation. It's got a placard on the front and a big old med kit. Now inside here, I've got trauma bandages, tourniquets, quick clot, all the things to stop a serious gun wound. Okay, this idea to have small little med kits, little dangler pouches, is just absolutely not true. So remember, if you're gonna have a med kit, I get a big military one. Keep it right on your armor, because the idea is when you grab this, guys, you've got to be ready to rumble. So guys, this is the plate carrier system. Let's go over it a little bit. First thing you're going to notice is a front placard. This is for AK-47 magazines, but what's great about it is I can also fit my ARs, and this can quick disconnect and come off, and we're going to go over why that's important. Keep calm and brew up, because I love my tea. But all it is just Armour with level 4 plates in it. And again, the big med kit, extra GP pouch or mag pouch, and then a pouch for water bottles. This is absolutely necessary for home defense. If you're gonna buy a pistol or a rifle, you need Armour and you need a med kit. I don't think anyone with any myriad of common sense will argue with me on that. When it comes to the med kit, we have a lot in here. We got all of our trauma dressings, gloves, and then what I love about this is a British Army Virtus one, is this rolls open and you've got everything you need on the inside. Again, massive hemorrhaging bandages, tons of bandages, guys. When bleeding happens, if it's really bad, it often doesn't stop until you can get a tourniquet on it or get to a medical facility. So the idea of a IFAK, an individual first aid kit, is you use it on yourself, but more so it's to stop the bleeding enough to get to a serious hospital or get to more professional care. So don't waste your money on getting operating shears, just tons of bandages. Again, medical is not my expertise. There are tons of videos out there, but a serious med kit. I'm sick and tired of these little dangler things with one bandage. That is not enough. Anyone who's seen any sort of combat that I've spoken to and met laughs at those things. They've all got these massive pouches. Are they inconvenient? Are they big? Are they heavy? Yeah, sure, but so is a gunshot wound. So what type of helmet should you get, and why do I think that you need a helmet and is necessary for home defense? Well, the reason is confidence. With the body armor and the helmet, it's that little bit of confidence. In very tight quarters, ultimately, people are going to go for either the body or the head or the face. You can fall, you can hit things. Having a helmet is a huge area of confidence. Now, this is a old Marine Corps helmet. It's a MIC. The other reason for a helmet is you can attach things such as goggles for dust or smoke, or you can attach things such as lights. Okay, this is a Princeton Tech one. It's a red, white light. You can get different colors, blues, infrared. It also gives you an attachment point for night vision, something we're going to get into. And it allows you, again, that confidence, but it allows you to add lights. This one doesn't have it on, but also hearing protection. If something happens inside, shit is going to get really, really loud. So having hearing protection, again, you just throw this on, you automatically got a light, hearing protection. You have everything you need right there in conjunction with the armor. You just put the armor on, put the helmet on, and you are ready to defend your home and those that you love. When it comes to firearms, everyone's going to have an opinion, but what do you need? I recommend a pistol with a light, such as a Glock 19 or 17, depending on your hand size, and a Surefire X300 weapon light. And that's going to come with about 3 magazines brand new. That is more than enough. For the rifle, same deal, 5.56 AR-15 with a light. What is my opinion on shotguns? Well, if that is all you can have in your country, something is better than nothing. But really do research of what types of ammunition. Shotguns can take many, birdshot, buckshot of different, I think it's numbers of balls, ball bearings in there, and slugs. So really do your research into what each one does and how it affects your home, depending on what your home's made of, if a round is to obviously be discharged. So now that we've discussed what you actually need for home defense, let's talk about area defense. And the idea of this is something has happened, we have to leave our home either to go find food or something, or it's that end of the world scenario, right, where we need to defend a vehicle or camp, and we need the ability to actually actively patrol. So the idea of this is to either leave our home, or again, we've got an area of vehicles or camp that we need to defend for a number of days. So let's get into the absolute basic gear that you need to do that. So the gear is going to differ a little bit from our home defense. Our home defense allows us to be very heavy. Now, a lot of guys like to weigh themselves down with body armor. I recently just had a conversation with someone on Instagram about this, and they said, well, I'm going to use my body armor for patrolling. And I said, well, good luck, because we watched on TV for 20 years, troops patrolling in full gear. They're all going to tell you that it sucks. And the truth is, as a civilian, you do not have the forward operating bases or logistics hubs that are necessary to fully support the amount of food, water, and logistics you need for even one person to wear this armor. When we're patrolling as a civilian, when we're going out and we have to do something, remember, you have to arrive there ready to do the bloody job. You can't arrive there exhausted. So why am I gonna wear, 20, 30 pounds of equipment when I could bring that in either water or ammunition, or carry supplies, extra food or provisions, again, defending those that we love for our family. So just give it some thoughts, guys. This gear has a time and place, and home defense, small areas, the body armor is great. But again, soldiers wear body armor because they're looking for a fight. You are a civilian, you are not looking for a fight. If you happen to get into a fight, we're gonna, again, you're gonna be armed, you've got ammunition, but the idea is to get away from it. Again, if you need to go out patrolling with body armor, helmet, magazines, seriously reassess where you stand morally, because chances are you're the problem. So when it comes to area defense, a few things are going to be absolutely crucial, and that is going to be our packs. So our packs, very, very important. These are going to be outfitted for about 3 days worth, and the idea is to get this as light and as small as possible. So don't buy the biggest pack that you can see. In fact, a lot of the packs that are built for the military, the government only wants to buy once, so they can expand to anywhere from 90 to 120 liters, and that's for that Arctic operations. Again, you don't need that amount of equipment if you're operating in the Arctic in extreme winter time. That's different, we're not talking about that. But on a whole, you're going to want to pack this anywhere from, I'd say, 35 to 55 liters, and this is going to allow you to have a sleep system, enough provisions and supplies to, again, comfortably operate or comfortably get from A to B and be ready to do something with the amount of food and water that you need to carry. That capacity is also going to make you consider what you actually need. This video is about needs, right? So having a smaller pack is really going to make you consider what it is that you need. So there are lots of packs on the market. This is the CF2 by Crossfire. It's an external frame pack, and I've got to say I absolutely love it. I've used many packs, and these are absolutely fantastic. Guys, you're going to see a lot of cheap packs on the market, a lot of military surplus ones, but the truth is, buying a brand new pack that those pads can wear into your body, you've got to use this equipment, guys. Don't just buy it and think that you're ready and let it sit in a garage. But investing in really good equipment. Don't go onto Amazon and get a cheap pack. Those straps will break. Again, this video is about needs, and you need a good pack. I highly recommend this one. I'll talk about it in the future, but for now, the Crossfire CF2. And if you need something a little bit bigger, say if you live in a more Arctic or winter environment, we have the CF3, which is a little bit bigger. So all different sizes. Again, you want something in that 35 to 60 liter range. Now we do have other packs also. We've got ex-military ones. This is a fantastic one. This is the British Virtus System 1. But again, it's designed to work with a military system. So oftentimes with military packs, unless you're buying the entire system, it's not going to work well, either as a standalone. This one's designed to actually be worn with combat webbing. It's not going to be good as a standalone. And again, it is made for a military market, not a civilian one. And one thing I can say is with the really professional packs, the high-end ones such as Crossfire, they are designed by people who work in sports medicine, and we're not getting paid to do this. We want something that can help the longevity of our body, and getting a pack that is designed to actually fit to your body and not cause long-term damage is a big deal. Something that, again, comment in below, but the military guys can attest that they do not care about in the military. So that's packs. What do you actually put in the pack? Well, you're not putting all of your kit into the packs. In fact, the pack is going to work together with some sort of chest or belt equipment. Before we go into that, what goes into your packs? Well, this is all of your sustainment equipment. So we did a video on layers and tiers of equipment, so please go watch that if you haven't. But it's essentially going to be your fire, food, shelter, water. It's everything that you need to sustain yourself, including hygiene, extra ammunition, mission essentials. But honestly, food and water take up a lot of that. Your shelter systems, such as your tarps, bashes, sleep systems, also take up a lot of room. So by keeping that pack smaller, it's gonna make you pack smarter. While on the topic of backpacks, let's talk about assault packs. So what is an assault pack? Well, we talked about our main packs being for 72 hours. An assault pack is for 12 to 24. So this is really gonna be your rations, food, mostly kept empty, because we may have to collect things, but also can carry a helmet, water, and really essentials to operate 12 to 24 hours, doing activities where we do not want to carry our main pack. The ability to transfer things and store things into a smaller pack system is going to be essential. These can oftentimes go onto underneath the lid or on the front of your pack, so they can be designed to carry with those main packs. Many military systems work like this, and it is highly recommended. And again, I think it's a main pack and a good assault pack that you can transfer crucial equipment. Some systems are designed to be very modular. Again, the Crossfire system here, I think, is one of the best ways of doing this. It comes with these, they name them after bread, like loaves, half loaves and baguettes. But the idea of those is you can put ammunition rations and you can quickly attach and detach them with a proprietary system they have from the main pack onto an assault pack, making the transfer of that equipment very easy. The problem with Molly is you can't transfer that gear quickly. It's almost semi-permanent. So with a quick detach system like the Crossfire system, I think it's awesome because you can transfer those pouches and crucial equipment, again, with ease and very quickly. And sadly, the truth is, time might not always be on your side, and fiddling around with Molly can be very frustrating, and it's a lot easier when you're in the field and when you have to use this stuff. We're already tired, we're already exhausted, so just to label pouches, medical, ammo, water, and just put them on and off is just a godsend. So assault pack, for that reason, think of it as a big version of doing that, and then some way to modularly switch out equipment very quickly. I can tell you, as someone who's doing filming, is out using this equipment on almost a daily basis, I'm always transferring equipment, and when I can just transfer those pouches, it is just a godsend. It also helps me keep track of stuff because there's a lot of it. We've talked about packs. What else do you need when it comes to being outside and in that environment as a civilian? Well, this comes to our fighting load. So again, in our video, we discussed this. We have our sustainment, our assault pack, which is part of our sustainment. And you're gonna need something like this. And this is a chest rig. So this chest rig right here is my personal one. And this is outfitted to fight. I've got water, magazines, a little bit of sustainment and navigation, medical, multi-tool, more mags. I'm throwing this on, it is to utilize my weapon system. That is all it's really for. This is the Mayflower Mark IV, and I really recommend getting one that has clips. The reason for this is we can interchange that from our plate carrier. We can actually put clips onto our plate carrier, so we can only buy this once. We can buy a separate plate carrier, and now we can actually interchange our fully decked out chest rig. That these mags never leave this chest rig. They are always topped off and ready to go. Another thing I recommend while we're on this topic is you have Kiwi inserts. They're plastic inserts inside there, and that helps keep the structure, because when you get this, it's not going to have that. It's basically going to be all bloody floppy, and by having a Kiwi insert, it allows you to mold this to any shape and stick in those magazines with ease. So there's your chest rig. Absolutely need one of these, because you can put it onto your plate carrier for home defense, and then if stuff happens, you can take it off, you can put it on the webbing system, and now you've just dropped legitimately 20 pounds of equipment and you have something far more lightweight and it's foldable to put into an assault pack. And then we get to my favorite bit of equipment, and that is going to be the combat webbing. So as a European, we love our combat webbing, and this comes from the European warfighting philosophy that you're not going to have this massive logistics system. And that's true. You're a civilian. You are not in the military, or maybe you are, but in this context, we are not. We do not have that support system. We do not have all the logistics. It is you, your friends, and your family. So this belt kit is the Crossfire DZ rig. I've used many webbing over the years, and this I'm just bloody blown away by. Just like their packs, they're made by an expert in sports medicine, and it just rides on your hips. You don't get those rashes. All the weight is right there. The pack, when this is properly fitted, also sits right on top of this webbing system so they can be used in conjunction with each other. And that's the benefit of buying a system that works with each other, is when people try to buy equipment that isn't designed to work together, it leads to blisters, be uncomfortable. It's not enjoyable, it's not fun, and you're less likely to go out and use the equipment. So having a system that works together is fantastic. This system, again, is made by Crossfire. It's got this really nice kind of tuck tab system with the pouches. And the idea of this webbing is sustainment and fighting. So on the front, we've got ammunition. On the side pouches, on the rear pouches, we have our mess tins. On the very back, we've got 24 hours worth of rations. I like to eat a lot, so I stuff that full of food. Also, if you've got to choose between ammunition and food, guys, choose water and food. And then, again, water over here in this last one. So, fighting knife also, or field knife. Everything should be multi-purpose in this equipment. And this runs absolutely beautifully. I can even wear this with my chest rig. It's got everything that my chest rig has in it. And if I have to, I can run this with the assault pack to put in more ammo, food, and it can extend my sustainment. Or I can run it individually and be good for 24 hours. I can literally grab this out of my house and be good for 24 hours. And that is the point of that webbing system, is it is an individual sustainment system. The main pack is our long-term sustainment. The assault pack allows us to transfer between the two, but combat webbing is an absolute must, or a chest rig, because ultimately it can do both. The webbing can do the job of both. The chest rig, the benefit of it is you can swap it between your body armor. So the chest rig is kind of a bridge between your home defense body armor and your more expeditionary stuff that you're going to do as a civilian, you know, the outdoor stuff, the patrolling, the traveling, the area defense. And the chest rig is a great bridge to that because, again, you can swap it out from your body armor. It can be lightweight, but the webbing is a standalone 24-hour system, kind of like a grab and go, almost like a bug out bag, but it gives us the ability to effectively shoot, move, and communicate. So that is all things that you actually need as a civilian: a way to defend your home and a way to have that defensive capability to protect those that you love, that obligation that you have outside of the home, or God forbid you have to leave it as well. Now with this comes all of your supporting equipment, your cleaning kits, your lens cleaning kits, all the things that you need to maintain this equipment, also waterproofing equipment and stuff of that nature. So a few things I want to touch upon also is this idea that, okay, this is a need, it's a must. Echo Mike, I don't have any of this. Well, please do not go out and use your credit cards, pay cash for it all. And that becomes a question of, should you buy all this equipment as cheaply as possible because you might only need to use it once? And I highly disagree. Just like with the packs, guys, it's not enough to just have this equipment stored in a garage. You've got to go out and use it, which means that $30 Amazon special backpack you bought is going to see a lot of hard use. And the day might be tomorrow that you have to use it for real. It might be 3 years from now. How do you know that gear is going to stand up? So a pack takes time to mold to you, A firearm is going to get use through it just as you use it. The webbing, the chest rig, all those things are going to get actively used, because if you're going to buy this stuff, it is your responsibility to be trained and capable with how to use it as well. I was recently showing someone my war belt for my range, and I mentioned that it had a medical kit, and the first thing that she said was, "Do you know how to use it?" And yes, of course I do, otherwise it's not going to be there. So know how to use this equipment as well, which is why you shouldn't cheap out and buy it. Take your time, don't get in debt, save the actual money in cash, and buy the good equipment. Guys, I'm telling you, chest rigs, packs, things that carry other items, you cannot cheap out on. You are going to do many miles in that, and let you either pay with cash up front, or you're going to pay in back problems down the road, or blisters on your feet, sprained ankles, and all sorts of other medical stuff. And equipment bills are a lot cheaper than medical bills. So when it comes to buying it, don't cheap out. Really get the best that you can. You can afford it. It's just a matter of how much time you're willing to wait. Another thing that I see commonly used to justify all of this equipment is that it is a investment. It's an investment, babe. Trust me. No, it's not, okay? Is it a investment in your safety, your well-being, your physical fitness, your capabilities, your hobbies, your interests, and all, your mental well-being and all the things that come from that? Yes, it is. It 100% is an investment in that. But I'll tell you guys, you're going to get upset, some of you. It is not a financial investment. I'm going to say that again. This gear is not a financial investment. Those guns are not a financial investment. But Echo Mike, I bought my scope for this much, I bought my gun for this much, and I sold it for more. Yes, but that's not really an investment, because chances are inflation has something to do with it. Chances are that you either sold it for less than you got it for, which is not an investment, okay? An investment is something like an asset that grows over time and either matches or exceeds the rate of inflation. Now, the problem with this gear is you never will sell boots or gear that you've used because of the reasons we talked about. Well, you'll sell it, but not for the price that you bought it for or more. And that's because it molds to you. This equipment molds to you. So once you buy this gear, that money is gone. It is now in a form for you to use it. So again, please go out and use it. But Echo Mike, my guns are an investment. No, they're not. Guys, let's be honest with yourself. They're not an investment, and here's why. A stock you can buy or invest, a property you can buy and invest, and come retirement or when you want to do what's called liquidating that asset, you can go out and sell that. And it's going to match or exceed inflation, you're going to make your money, and everyone's going to be happy. A gun, on the other hand, with a right of a pen, can be outlawed. I know 2 people who put legitimately their entire life savings into guns, they got outlawed, and they cannot sell them now. So they literally have these heaping piles of metal that they cannot do anything with. That is not an investment. So is this stuff necessary? Do you need it? Yes. But I urge you, do not convince and lie to yourself that this is some sort of investment financially for your future. It is not. It is necessary. Buy the best gear, use it, train with it. But financially, do not convince yourself or, God forbid, your spouse or others that this is a financial investment. Do not convince them that night vision is an investment. It is not. It is not an investment, guys. I hear that thrown all the time around with high-end optics and night vision. It is not an investment, because the stuff can get outlawed tomorrow from being sold, and you'll never get more than you've paid for it. So, and that's the other thing. You're going to reach retirement and buy a night vision gear when you were 20 and then sell it. Technology is going to change so much that it's not going to be worth as much. So do not convince your wife or significant others that this is an investment in this equipment and that you need to stop putting money into your retirement funds in order to buy this kit that Echo Mike said you needed. Do it with your spare cash, do it smart, and do it right, guys. So let's talk about the big what if that I just mentioned, night vision. Do you need it? People will argue that you do. Again, it's a want, it's not a need. Let's be honest with each other, guys. This is not a need. This idea that you're going to get killed if you don't have night vision is true if you're in a gunfight. But guess what? If you're defending your home, if you are going to be that responsible citizen that gets and trains with this equipment as you should, this is not part of that. This is a very much offensive capability. Can it be used for defense and other cool stuff? Yes, but this is a want, not a need. With that said, with the finances, focusing on a want versus a need, guys, your family, your future, your investment, your career takes priority over all of this. So just keep that in mind when you go out and buy this. Save properly, save logically. Do not go out and put everything at risk just to get this equipment. Again, it is your need and your duty, but your shelter, your career, all those things come first, and then this equipment comes after that. And that doesn't degrade the importance of it, okay? Don't get confused with that. It's not degrading the importance of this equipment. What it's saying is you need a way to get to work, you need a way to eat, you need something to sleep on, and then once your life is built and worth defending, then the things that you need to defend it are then necessary to get. And with that, let's talk about the best investment you can make. And that's going to be in these. Knowledge weighs nothing. An investment in your mind will mean that you need to carry less equipment. So guys, start building a library, get them in paper. Once you've got these books, you can go back and you can refer to them. But guys, books are crucially important. So be it self-help and building yourself as a man or a woman, or books on these actual skills. We can't know it all. We can't know it all at once, but having a physical thing that you can refer back to is going to be hugely important. So along with all this gear, I highly recommend getting a good stack of books. So Echo Mike, I've already got all of this gear. What should you do? Well, the good news is that you've got to train, and beyond training is going to be, again, becoming knowledgeable. And how about sharing this with people who might not be exposed to it as often? I find some of the best times I have at the range isn't when I'm training hard with the boys. Well, that's awesome, that's great, and there's nothing else like it. But it's when I'm introducing someone to this hobby and the world of firearms and self-defense, because to see that mindset switch of I always saw guns, or they didn't like guns, or they didn't see the need for the gear, into holy shit, you know what, I'll never do it, but that was fun, and I see and I respect the people who do now, is going to help grow this community, and that's exactly what we need. The other fun thing that you can do is have what's called a giveaway tub. So a giveaway tub is basically what it says on the tin, it's a tub where you throw all of your spare equipment, and I basically outfit it for a new set of clothes and 24 hours worth of equipment, food, rations, to just literally give to a person. So if someone walks in off the street, or your friend, and something happened, you can just give them a tub, and it's got pretty much what we discussed today, those basic needs for that person to now become an asset in your group or that situation. Okay guys, so that's all I have for you. That is the basic needs of everything to get started, and honestly, your responsibility of the items that will help allow you to do the job as a citizen of any country in the world. Guys, if you can't own all this equipment in your country, get active, get political. I don't like to talk about politics too much on this channel. That could change, who knows, but guys, it is your right as a human to defend those that you love. And this idea that the military is going to do that for you, history has shown us that is just not the case. So it is the responsibility of everyday citizens to do what is morally right. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, look out for your mates, look after each other. The channel's growing hugely. I released a video recently and it just made the channel explode. So if you're brand new, welcome. Thank you so much for watching and the support. So much to come, so many exciting videos planned with mates and people who are very experienced in different fields and from all over the world and walks of life. So I'm very excited to film those and share that with you all. For closing thoughts today, don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare your story to somebody else's, and don't try to be like anyone either. Guys, be yourself, and you're going to be a lot more grateful for it. Don't lie to yourself, and do the things that you love. Don't deny yourself things just because your friends or family say that it's wrong, or society says that you shouldn't necessarily do it, unless it's absolutely heinous, of course. But you guys all know what I'm talking about, so don't lie to yourselves. Be yourself, and just remember to look after each other and have fun.